Hello friends, in this lesson we will be learning about effective communication. Communication is the activity of conveying information through the exchange of thoughts, messages or information. Effective communication is a two-way information sharing process which involves one person sending a message that is easily understood by the receiving person. There are many types of communication. First is informing communication. Some people just want the facts laid out for them. They pay attention to facts and figures, studies and other concrete data. Second is analyzing communication. These people don't want specific facts but rather a summary. You need to offer an analysis and boil down the information or request in a meaningful manner. Next is persuasive. This type of person wants to know what's in it for them. Why should they agree to act in a certain way or perform a specific action? They must be convinced and we have to present our argument. Next is mediating. It means compromise. With these people, you have to be willing to give a little, find the common ground, and find the solution that satisfies you both. Next is emotional. This kind of communication is all about feelings. Knowing what is important and what touches these people is the key, and connect on an understanding level. Next is entertaining communication. Wit, humor, and levity influences these people. Serious facts are useless. Be interesting and light-hearted when possible. Next is inspiring communication. Offer motivation, inspiration, and big picture results. These people need to feel as though they are making a difference, some kind of impact. Let's see the communication process. The goal of communication is to convey information and the understanding that information from one person or group to another person or group. This process is divided into three basic components. A sender transmits a message through a channel to the receiver. The sender first develops an idea which is composed into a message and then transmitted to the other party, who interprets the message and receives meaning. Information theorists have added somewhat more complicated language. Developing a message is known as encoding, and interpreting the message is referred to as decoding. You can see the chart of communication process. First is sender. He sends the message, and then transmission, and it will be received by the receiver, and the receiver will understand the message and then give the feedback. There are many barriers to communications. First is distraction. It is hard to understand if you are distracted by something else. When you are trying to communicate, make sure there is no competition for your attention, like exciting things going on nearby or other people talking. With cell phones, IMS, chat rooms, email, etc. Next is blocks. Sometimes it's hard to communicate simply because you can't send or receive the message. Loud noises can block communication, and so can things like lost phone signals and computers not being able to interface. Next is poor skills. Some people have not learned how to effectively listen and don't understand what you are trying to communicate. Next is attitude. Communication can also be affected by a poor attitude towards the other person, toward the subject, or just because the sender or receiver is having a bad day. Fear and mistrust can impede communication, as can boredom or lack of interest in the subject. For best communication, try to keep the emotions out of the way until you understand what is being communicated. Next is poor understanding. Sometimes the sender uses words that the receiver doesn't understand or refers to cultural experiences that the receiver has not grown up with. So the communication is less effective. Try to use simple words if you are communicating something complicated, and make sure that both of you understand the context or cultural references. Next is lack of feedback. If the receiver doesn't give feedback, the sender doesn't know if the communication is effective or not. Also, if the sender is not paying attention to the feedback, the communication will not be effective. This was the discussion about effective communication. Thank you.